Okay, girls, I'm testing for sound to see if we're working. We should be working. We were having little technical difficulties. YouTube wasn't connecting to my webcam properly, so hopefully we're running now. And let me just check for sound. See if we're working here. Okay, girls, I'm testing for sound. Yay. Okay. Now let me leave a link on the Facebook page. And if you're here, go ahead and start commenting. Let me know that you're here. There's Joe. We had a little bit of technical difficulty getting started. The system, there seems to be a little lag going on today for some reason. The system didn't want to connect to my webcam, so I was just projecting nothing. Okay, so Joe's here. Is anybody else here? If you are, go ahead and leave a comment so I know that you're here. Yay, we have sound this time. We got that one figured out this time. We get one thing figured out and then another problem happens. That's the way it goes. So I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm going to put my glass on too so I don't squint the whole time. Let me know if they glare, because if they leave a bunch of glare, then I'll take them back off. But otherwise, this will keep me from squinting the entire time. I'm going to let you guys decide too. Do you guys want to start with talking about foundation, or do you want to start with campaign-related info? I'll let you decide. The entire time. Who else is here? If you're here, comment so that I know that you're here. Gosh, everything's on a lag today. Facebook's on a lag today too. That figures. Wear on the glasses. Okay, good. That'll keep me from squinting the whole time. Okay, well, let's talk about foundation first, I guess, unless you want to get straight into campaign stuff. Because we talked last time, or I mentioned last time, you know, there's this big issue with foundations, and there are problems with color when it comes to foundation offerings. You know, there's sort of this big idea that there's some kind of secret controversial reason about why foundation companies don't sell, you know, specific foundation shades, whether it's, you know, a lot of times we're thinking of the darkest foundation shades because a lot of times when you're dealing with foundation, It might be, Joe. I don't know. I know there's a bunch of people that watched last time that couldn't comment. So people are on their phones. They were having trouble commenting by phone. So I guess we'll see what happens. I think Sarah was coming. I know Rebecca is at Disney because she won the incentive trip. And Mindy's been having trouble with internet connection lately. So I know she had that. Patrice is at the movies with her daughter. And who else is out of town that I know for sure is out of town? I think that's most of the people that I know for sure. Oh, Chris had some training to do. Oh, Hazel's here, but comments disabled. Here, let me leave a comment for her. Hazel's here. Hazel's having trouble commenting. Hazel, I left you a message on Facebook. Patrice, I know a couple of people had trouble with commenting with smartphones. Patrice last time said she was able to use a second screen through her phone, switch to desktop, something like that. And she said then it was able to work. I don't know how to do that, though, or really enough about it to help you there, but you probably know better than I do what that even means. But she was able to get it figured out. She said she had 2 screens running. So I hope that helps. A couple people did switch to using their desktop, though, last time. I think it's just an issue with smartphones, can't comment. So I don't know how to get around it other than if you can figure out how to switch your screen the way Patrice did. Okay, so the issue with foundations, a lot of people complain because, particularly with foundation shades, there aren't the darker shades available. And, some people say, well, they don't offer shades that don't sell. Some people say, there's all kinds of, kind of myths related to why that is. But I actually know why that is. So we talked about that a little bit last time. So I wanted to talk about that, and then I also wanted to talk about just the technicalities of it, and then the theory behind it. So I think we'll do that first, and then talk about Campaign 8 related stuff, kind of the business things. Okay, so the deal with the foundation, there's basically kind of 2 points related to it. There's logistics that affect it, and then there's principle behind it. So, there's technicalities related to why some shades just aren't available, and then there's technique related to why some shades aren't created. So, part of the technicalities, which affects, anytime you're talking about extremes, it affects extremes on the darker end of the spectrum as far as foundation colors, and it affects the extremes on the lighter end. Because when you really think about foundation, if somebody is extremely pale, light, fair, white skin, we don't have foundation for them either. We all know the girl who has the little kind of yellow line around the chin because she has very, pale skin. And then the same thing on the darker ends. We don't have dark, really, really dark foundations that match really, really deep skin. So part of the technicality behind that is just the basic premise that ingredients have color, and those colors affect the overall color of the foundation. So if you just look at the foundation colors that we do have available, just our company in general has available, the 3 darkest shades, like if you're talking about the Ideal Flawless Foundation, for example, the 3 darkest shades don't have any SPF in them. And let me preface this by saying that, no scientist from R&D called me up and said, hey, Shannon, let me tell you something about SPF and foundations. They didn't call me and give me this information, but if we just know or just use the information that we have, that we know about SPF and how it affects foundation, then we can kind of sort of do the math ourselves, right? So we know that SPF, like for example, if you take a picture and your foundation has SPF, we know that it leaves the white cast, right? Foundation has color, SPF has color, all ingredients have color. So when you're putting an ingredient into a foundation, especially one with a very saturated dark color, it is going to basically muddy that color. It's going to affect the color. There's other ingredients, SPF is not the only ingredient that would do that. A lot of ingredients have color that can contaminate the color that you're trying to get. But just the basic technicality of the things that you have to put into a foundation to make it work as a foundation can affect the end color is a problem. That's an issue that all companies have. And that affects mostly the darker shades. Because if you think about a black crayon. If you take a black crayon, say you take a black crayon and you scribble on a piece of paper, and then you take some white crayon and you scribble into the black crayon, you end up with gray, right? Well, the same thing happens with the ingredients for the products that we're using. And the three darkest shades, we don't have SPF in them, not because we think, oh, well, the dark skin doesn't need sun protection, or because we think that certain ethnicities don't get skin cancer. It's nothing kind of cynical like that. It's just the basic premise that the SPF going into that product when we have those dark pigments basically destroys those pigments, and we start to lose the color or muddy the color. So does that make sense to you, at least from the basics? From the basic standpoint? The same thing happens with face creams and things too. In face creams, we're able to put glycerin in it, and the glycerin makes it white and creamy. And over time, glycerin does break down, which is why if you keep a night cream for a really long time, sometimes it can change color on you. And I mean change color without there being like bacteria and fungus growing in it. It's because over time, glycerin does break down. So there are other products that have the same issues, but when you're talking about foundation, you need it to perform in a certain way, and so we can't necessarily put extra products in it to undo the color issues like we can with like a night cream, because we just need night cream to look white and fluffy and creamy, right? Okay. So you follow me with like the SPF and just the basic ingredient issue. The other part really comes down to color theory and basic art class, all the things that we learned, in elementary school, like when you were learning that yellow and blue make green, and when you learned that, the colors of the rainbow, and just all that kind of stuff. We're really going to go to kind of the basics of that for a minute, and we're going to talk about kind of artistic principles for a minute, or a few minutes. And, okay, so the first thing that you learned way back in the day is that the color white, the basic principle or the basic idea of the color white is that white is the rejection or the exclusion of all color, right? So if you have something that's white and you do anything with color on it, it's no longer going to be white, right? White is the rejection of other colors. On the other end of the spectrum, we're talking the two extremes here, black is the absorption or the inclusion of all color, right? So you can take all of the colors and you can scribble them all together, and eventually you're going to end up with black or a very close shade to black, right? And, you know, I don't know if you ever remember being a kid and you would take a piece of paper and you would take all of your colored crayons and you would scribble all over the page with all of those colors until the page was covered, and then you would take your black crayon and scribble over the top of them all. And the black crayon was able to cover all of those other colors. And then you took like a safety pin or something or a toothpick and you scratched the black off so you had the rainbow underneath, that kind of thing. You know, black is the one color that can kind of overtake a lot of other colors. So I can't draw, and I'm not an artist, but I understand the theory. I really can't draw to save my life. But I understand the theories behind color. And a lot of what has been lost, I think, and I don't know if it's because of political correctness or what it is. The information was available. I mean, I learned this information. It was readily available when I was younger. Oh, the screen looks frozen. And now you can't seem to find it anymore. So, in the theory, I don't know why that is, but oh, Hazel got flagged as spam. Hazel, you're not spam. Let me. Not spam, not spam. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to explain this as best I can. And like I said, I can't draw, so that's really not going to help. But makeup is art, right? It's basically a form of art. You know, the makeup is our medium and our face is our canvas. So when you talk about artistic principle and just the basic ideas of what is really the right way to apply makeup, a lot of the decisions that are made on what colors to create begin from these basic principles of how should you really apply, you know, color and texture to your canvas. Okay, so it really comes down to a lot of basic art principles, and I feel like a lot of that has gotten lost. It's not, the information isn't given readily in the public like it was when I was younger, which is how I learned it, you know, through magazine articles and different makeup training, you know, classes that anybody could get, like from a Mary Kay rep or whatever. And I don't know why it's gotten lost. I don't know if it's a politically correct thing where people just don't talk about it anymore, or if it's just got, I don't even know if makeup schools teach these kind of principles anymore. But I think really when you understand the principles, you really start to look at the makeup a little bit differently. So, okay, we understand that makeup is art, and you know, we know that the issues mainly are going to be with the two extremes of the spectrum, from one end to the other. So let me just give you my best example that I can of how the situations are different. So I have a piece of white paper here, and I just have like a black Sharpie marker. So let's say that on this piece of paper, I decided that I wanted to draw a tree. And so I probably would take my marker, and I'm not going to draw it because it wouldn't look like a tree, but you can kind of follow along with your imagination. But let's say I would take my marker and I would draw kind of the trunk of the tree, right? I would draw the two edges of the trunk, and then I might draw a couple branches. And then I would probably start to take some color and like maybe some browns and some greens and start to color in the trunk. And I would be trying to make it three-dimensional, right? I want to make it look like the tree is real. And so I would start to kind of use gradations in color, just, you know, browns and greens and other bark-related colors to try to start to make the trunk and the branches look three-dimensional. And then when I was done with all of that, I would probably go in and start to, you know, color in leaves, whether I was making them green or orange, you know, if it was a fall scene or what have you. But this whole idea that, you know, like I'm starting off the picture and then I'm coloring it in to start to create dimension is the basic idea, right? So, okay, this is on, you know, a white piece of paper. So let's say I decide I want to do the same thing. and I take this black piece of paper, and I take the same Sharpie marker, and I start to draw my trunk. Well, it's not going to work, right? I'm not going to start the trunk of my tree with this black Sharpie marker on this black paper. I'm going to have to approach this paper differently than I did this one, because they are different, and this one absorbs color differently than this one, right? So if I want to make this three-dimensional, I started off with the areas that I wanted to look furthest away, and then I started adding color to bring the rest of it out to me. Well, on this piece of paper, I'm not going to be able to use this tool the same way I did there, because it's not going to show up, right? So I really don't even need this. What I need to do is I need to focus on the color, and I need to start building it three-dimensionally with the color. And I don't even need this because the recessive areas are kind of already built into the paper. Are you following me with that? Nod your head if you are. I'm just kidding. Don't nod your head because I won't be able to see you. Am I making sense? Are you with me so far? So let's say that these are faces. Let's pretend that our little paper is faces. You know, when I'm teaching color on myself, and when I'm teaching how to put makeup on someone with similar coloring as myself, I start off by taking deep colors and I'm trying to build recesses in my face. I'm putting dark colors here where I want to kind of make it look further away, you know, if I'm trying to slim my face, and around here I have to add the recesses in. Whereas if I'm looking at dark skin, I don't need to add, especially if it's, you know, the very extreme end of the spectrum, I don't need to add that darkness in. It's already there naturally. So what I need to focus on, instead of focusing on building the recesses, I need to focus on adding color to bring the dimension out in the highlight areas. Does that make sense? You know, it's like two ends of the extremes. And it's almost like we're so used to teaching the makeup theory from this end of the spectrum that we've kind of lost sight of teaching it from the other end of the spectrum. But how that relates back to foundation is that a lot of times with the darkest shades of foundation, you'll find these really gorgeous like cinnamon shades, these deep kind of really dark brown shades that have this kind of cinnamon reflection in it, or these really pretty toffee shades. And that's because with that dark skin, like I said, we don't need to add darkness in a lot of these places. What we need to do is add the color and the brightness that brings the dimension out. We've already got the darkness there. So a lot of times in darker foundations, it's not an issue of finding an exact match. It's an issue of finding the right kind of warmth or coolness that your highlight colors are going to be. You know, a lot of times what they do still teach us is they do still tell us only use foundation where you need it, right? Which we never do. We always slather it all over our face, don't we? We always just want to cover everything up. But they never really tell us to do that. They always tell us only use foundation where you need to, you know, and use concealer to, you know, cover spots and things. There's always going to be some kind of extreme situation that is going to be frustrating. If somebody has really, really white skin, you know, there's not white foundation. There's shades of yellow and nude and skin tone, you know, but we don't have white. And so for somebody, you know, the lighter your skin is and the more age spots and that kind of thing you have, or acne scarring, you're going to have trouble covering that up. Same on the other extreme. If you have deep acne scarring, you're going to want to cover it up. If you are very darkly pigmented, but maybe you have patches of skin that don't have as much pigmentation, you're going to have a hard time covering that up or blending and evening it out. Where on the light side, if you have like the strawberry birthmarks, you know, are a good example for the lighter skin. That's always going to be an issue trying to cover it up. But if you really think about makeup based on the artistic principle of it, you start to really understand why the shades that are offered at one extreme or the other are, why there are limitations, or why they don't exactly, when you see that dark foundation that has that cinnamon tone to it, we know that there's nobody, that's not an exact match for somebody's skin. You rarely see somebody and go, gosh, you have the most beautiful cinnamon colored skin. But that's because that is basically a highlight shade. It's a warm shade that's going to help to draw their facial features out. Okay, whereas on my skin, I'm trying to draw, I'm trying to recess, I'm trying to push the facial features back and then accentuate like my eyes and that kind of thing. Where on dark skin, you're really trying to focus on the actual feature and bring that out. So is that starting to make sense in my like extremely limited way of being able to explain it? We always kind of assume the worst. We always assume like it's a marketing issue, or it's a, I don't know, it's a, oh, they don't sell enough of those colors, so they don't make them issue. But really, I think when I do makeup on somebody with dark skin, like for a bride or something, I treat their face the exact opposite as I treat my face when I'm approaching it. I will bring, some of the darkest areas that they have, if they have dark shadowing, I will use very light, concealers sometimes, very light concealers to lighten those areas up and bring brightness to the face, just overall brightness. Versus somebody, like myself, on myself, the first thing I would be doing is bronzing and contouring. Okay, so does that make sense to you guys? Am I, in the same respect, as I said, I wouldn't start off drawing my tree with the black Sharpie marker on the black paper. I also wouldn't start drawing my tree on the white paper with a white crayon. Okay, so anytime a customer though has extreme issues, like extreme acne, some kind of extreme pigmentation issue, which we all have to some extent. I have age spots that are the bane of my existence because they just don't fit with the rest of my skin tone, and I'm always trying to make it work to make those go away. Anybody who has acne and acne scarring is going to be trying to work to make that go away, or birthmarks, or too much pigmentation, or a lack of pigmentation, no matter which end of the spectrum that they're on. Those are always going to be issues that are, we have to kind of look at those as like kind of an extreme situation that you're trying to work to deal with. But just the overall color of the face and how you apply makeup goes back to the very basic theories, and we have to stop kind of addressing different skin tones as if they're exactly the same, because they aren't the same, and that's okay. So I think the problem that we have is we just teach makeup, we just teach it one way, and we think, okay, here's the rules, so that has to apply to everybody, and that's just not, it's just not right. If you were painting a picture on a piece of paper, you would approach these two pieces of paper differently. And so, when they're coming up with colors, they keep that in mind. I mean, that's kind of where the basis of the colors sort of come from. Then you add in the technicality of the fact that there are ingredients that will contaminate the color. So if you have this beautiful, rich, deep, dark brown shade, and then you add some SPF to it, you're not going to have that deep, dark brown shade anymore. It's going to lighten up the shade. So there are, like with our BB creams and things like that, where we have really high SPF and the colors don't go very dark, that's why, because the SPF is so high. Okay, so you guys have questions about that or anything, let me know. Like I said, I'm not an artist. I can't draw, so I can't draw you a face and show you how I would do it differently that way. But I mean, you guys are smarties. I think you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. And the thing that bothers me is just that the information is not so readily available like it used to be. I mean, I learned those principles just because it was readily available, and I learned it, you know, probably 20 or 30 years ago. And so I don't know what has changed now or why that kind of education isn't out there anymore, but it just doesn't seem like it is. And, you know, it can be hard to explain to a customer who's looking for a shade match that just doesn't exist, why it doesn't exist. And it's not that it just doesn't exist with us, it just doesn't exist in the market sort of, you know, period. No matter what company you're looking at, and it can be kind of hard to explain that to them. So hopefully this kind of helps. And, you know, it might make you look at how you apply makeup on different skin tones in a different way. You know, the canvas is not the same, so you shouldn't approach it the same way. Okay, so there's that. If you guys have questions about that, let me know, because, you know I probably I probably could have explained it even more clearly, but that's that. So let's talk about business stuff and Campaign 8 stuff. And also, in case you didn't notice, we did talk about it on the Maven page, but if you haven't seen it or if you didn't get the email, e-parties and online events have been turned off. So if you weren't familiar with that, you should probably, or if you hadn't heard that, you should know. They basically said that it's under review and there is no estimated time frame if or when it will come back. So if you didn't know that already. And then also an email blast just went out yesterday that with the Infinite Lift, the preferred preview had the little information about, you know, finding out how you could be a guest in a video hosted by Dr. Cheryl Karcher, you know, blah, blah, blah. So apparently they were going to do like a, you could win a trip to New York, and they've canceled that. So anybody that participated in the preferred preview just hoping, you know, to have that opportunity, that's a no-go right now. Okay, let's see, Campaign 8. Hazel's got her Campaign 8 stuff too, so she's probably looked at a bunch of this stuff. There's a lot of buy one, get one again. Campaign 8 is really heavy on jewelry and Easter and freebies. And there is not, we talked about the recruiting page last time. I didn't notice a recruiting page this time. So you don't need to worry about, you know, extra labels for this campaign. So that will save you a little bit of money this campaign. Just right off the top, I really didn't see anything in the outlet that I thought would like surprise anybody, you know, that just suddenly ended up in the outlet and we maybe weren't expecting it. So I'm not really going to talk about the outlet at all. I want you guys to kind of weigh in on what you think about the whole Mark situation, because looking at this Mark catalog, it looks to me like there's potential that they're getting rid of everything except for clothing and accessories over time with Mark. I mean, they do have some new things coming out, but all of the staples are all kind of like, you know, limited supply, while supplies last type thing in the catalog. So I'm curious what you guys think about that, or if anybody has heard any rumors. You know, we know that there's changes coming with Mark, but I don't really know for sure. I don't know if they really know for sure what they're doing with it yet. So if anybody has heard anything through the grapevine, then feel free to comment and leave information. Obviously, none of us know anything for sure, but it's kind of nice to at least feel like you kind of have an idea of what might happen, I think, because you can start to kind of prep your customers and you can prep yourself merchandise-wise and how you want to focus when you're buying demos and all that kind of thing. So anyway, if you've heard anything, let me know. Okay, so campaign 8. The first thing is it starts off with the watches. And the offer is going to be that you can buy a watch for $9.99 if you have a $15 brochure purchase. Okay, so it's $9.99 each with any $15 brochure purchase, this brochure only. And the thing that I wanted to mention about this, though, that you probably need to kind of prep your customers for or have in mind is that down in the asterisks, it says, if the color ordered is no longer available due to unforeseen demand, we reserve the right to substitute an alternate color in your order. So if they order the purple one, but the purple one has sold out, Avon might send them a green one instead. So I don't really like that when it's something this specific. If I were buying things in large quantities to sell at a later date and I wasn't trying to fulfill a customer request, I wouldn't really care because, you know, if I have 10 purple watches instead of 5 and 5, I mean, who cares? But when I'm fulfilling a customer request, when a customer orders purple, that means they wanted purple, they didn't want green, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. You might need to kind of prep your customers for that potential situation to happen and that you don't really have control over that, especially if you have any customers that are sticklers. And you know, you also need to kind of, if anybody brings it up, then I would figure out ahead of time, you know, they might be spending $15 purposely so they can get the watch at a cheaper price. So how are you going to handle if a watch shows up that they didn't want, you know, if they wanted purple and they get green, you know, you need to decide with them ahead of time how do they want to handle the other $15 worth of merchandise as well. Are you sending all of it back because they just wanted the watch, or, you know, or are they okay with the green watch, or do they just want to send the watch back, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about that because I know I miss the fine print a lot of times, so just so you know ahead of time. And, okay, so page 25, we're looking at some of the Easter stuff. The Tickle and Giggle Friend, he's listed in there as a limited time only. So if you are focusing on that one or demoing it or whatever, you know, make sure you sell it this campaign. I mean, at least, you know, focus on it this campaign because it's not going to be around probably in very many books. Okay, one of the big things I wanted to talk about, this to me is a marketing fail. Okay, we have a new mascara coming out in this campaign. It's the new Aero Volume Mascara. And so basically what it is it's a volumizing mascara, but it's supposed to be kind of weightless so that, you know, your lashes aren't supposed to droop, you know, halfway through the day. It's smudge proof, it's waterproof, and it's clump resistant. Okay, so we've got this new mascara launch, and we did, you know, there was an advance order option to buy this from the What's New. So if you advanced ordered these and wanted to have them on hand so you could sell them, you know, from the launch in the brochure, there's a problem. The problem is that just two pages further back, all of the Super Extend mascaras have an offer with them that if you buy one of these Super Extend mascaras, you get a free lash conditioner and primer. So who's going to choose the new mascara when they can come back here and get the primer for free, right? So my suggestion to you, if you advance ordered the new mascara, is present the new mascara first. You know, sell it up front, cash and carry. You know, I have a limited quantity on hand. This is new. Sell them all the benefits. Sell it to them cash and carry. When you're done with all that, then hand them the brochure. Okay? Because you don't want to get stuck with all of those, you know, mascaras on the launch of the new mascara just because there's a free gift with purchase 2 pages later in the brochure. So that to me, you know, not the best marketing idea. But just a heads up for you guys for that one. Okay, so along the lines of that, there is a lot of free offers. On page 35, there's going to be a free lip liner. This is a free Glimmer Sticks lip liner in clear with any lipstick purchase. Now, it says pages 34, 35, but really in the fine print, over here it says lip liner offer only on select ultra color lipstick shades. So it's only on these lipstick shades here. It's not on the Shine Attract lipstick, which is on the same page. And I know that it says pages 34, 35, but here it says, psych, just kidding. It's only on these colors. Okay, so just make sure you're paying attention to that. Page 37, there is the free eye makeup remover. Free moisture effective eye makeup remover lotion with any Glimmer Sticks eyeliner purchase. Okay, so they can get the eye makeup remover. And also on this page, they do have the Diamonds Onyx collection listed as limited edition. So, I mean, we know those eyeliners are you know, not going to be a permanent part of the collection, but it does have it listed as limited edition here. There is a lowest price this year offer. So if you were going to buy this, you might want to wait. You might be able to get it at a better deal. On page 43, the gel finish 7-in-1 nail enamel, the gel finish is lowest price this year, $4.99. On page 44, the liquid liner with a hot metallic finish. It's the Avon metallic liquid eyeliner that is listed as while supplies last, which we've seen that before, but just a reminder, there is a potential that it might short. On page 5, the True Color 8-in-1 eyeshadow palette is going to be lowest price ever as well. So, you know, if you were just about to buy it for yourself to demo or something at full price, you might want to wait and get it this campaign. Let's see. The True Color eyeshadow duos are lowest price ever. Those are going to be $4.99. And the new brush line launches. They're on page 48 and 49. What I wanted to say to you about these brushes is I would start to get familiar with which brushes are nylon versus which brushes are natural bristles, just so that you know. And then also, too, if you didn't know why, you know, some might be nylon and some, you know, why some are synthetic and why some are natural. Natural bristles do absorb product. So, like, a lot of times, you know, flat foundation brushes will be nylon because you don't want that liquid foundation being soaked up by a natural hair bristled brush and lose a bunch of product. So that's one issue. Also, a lot of times synthetic bristles can be a little more stiff, so a lot of times you'll see them in an eyeliner brush because you know, like an angled eyeliner brush, you really want to get that nice sharp line. Well, natural bristles a lot of times tend to bend, and you're just not going to have as much control. with them. So things like that. So if you haven't already done it, I would just kind of look through these brushes and kind of just become familiar with which ones are nylon and which ones are natural, and start to think about why they would make the choices that they did, why this one is natural versus nylon and vice versa. Just so you can explain and educate your customers if they have those same kind of questions that we do sometimes. Okay, if you didn't already know, let's see. On the Smooth Minerals, the powder foundation, I don't know if you've ever noticed this or not, but there are two shades that the net weight is not as much as the other shades. That's the Transparent Glow and the Bronzer. They are 0.12 ounces net weight, and I think the other ones are 0.2 ounces. Let me look it up really quick. Yeah. All of the colors are 0.2 ounces except for the Transparent Glow and the Bronze. Those are, you don't get as much product with those two colors. They're 0.12 ounces. However, those are two where they expect that you're going to get the same number of applications regardless. So they do have that in the book, and if that's, if that's something you didn't already know, it's a good thing to kind of memorize that those two shades, same number of applications, but not as much product as the other shades. Okay. On pages 58 and 59, there's lowest price ever for the Super Extend Liquid Eyeliner. It's going to be $2.99. And also the Always On Point Eyeliner is going to be $3.99. So that might be a time to, maybe stock up. It's a good sale price. And then while supplies last, pretty much almost these whole 2 pages. The Super Extend Eyeliner is while supplies last. The Kohl Eyeliner, this fat Kohl Eyeliner, is while supplies last. The Big Color Dual-Ended Eye Pencil and then the Long Distance Mascara and Serum are all on their way out. Okay, we talked about the skincare changes last time, so if you missed that conversation, then go back and watch the last live broadcast. But they do have listed on page 70 that there are limited quantities for all of the Reversalist products, and that the Reversalist Complete Renewal does come in campaign 13. So the replacements is coming 5 campaigns from now from this one. But just remember that there is a possibility that they might short on the Reversalist. And let's see, page 107. They do have the limited edition Skin So Soft, Soft and Sensual Bath Oil. And $1 of this is going to be donated to the Avon Foundation for Women Breast Cancer Crusade. And we actually are going to we do get some earnings on this product where we don't normally get earnings on the breast cancer products. So that's kind of nice. But it's just basically a limited edition, bottle that has the breast cancer symbol on it, the ribbon, the pink ribbon. Okay. There is an extended delivery time warning on page 116. The long necklace and drop earring gift set. This is the pastel blue and pink collection. They're asking for 2 to 4 extra weeks for delivery, you know, in the event of unforeseen demand. So that's for this one. And then also, for the embellished flutter sleeve tunic. This one's asking for an extra 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. So this one, you know, up to 2 months extra time. And another limited edition product. The pink camo memory foam slippers are limited edition. If you're wondering why I'm pointing out which ones are limited edition, it's just because, you know, we know that there are limited quantities available, and so, you know, if a customer expresses any kind of interest in it, you know, I would just tell them get it now, because with it being limited edition, I have no guarantees on how long it will be available to you. So if you like it, get it now. Okay, a lot of the Tiny Tilia stuff, have you guys even noticed that they're not even, like, they're really kind of not even advertising it as Tiny Tilia very much anymore. Really just the animals, actually not even all the animals are even pointed out that they're Tiny Tilia. So I don't know if they're kind of phasing out the name brand altogether or what's sort of happening, but pretty much all of these products, let's see, yeah, pretty much all of these are while supplies last on 154 and 155. The mesh bath storage, the floating bath blocks, the bath mitts, and the hooded bath towels. So the only one on this page that's not listed that way is the match and count bath towels. Everything else is all while supplies last. And really that's the only page of Tiny Tilia stuff. So I don't know if that's an indicator of what might be happening over time. I'm not really sure. There is the free comb offer with the whole Rio 2 thing. Free with any $10 Rio 2 purchase, pages 156 through 157. You get the Rio 2 detangling comb, and it's limit 1 per customer. They can't buy it separately. So, free gift offer. And then one thing I wanted to point out to you guys, I mean, especially for the Mavens that are watching, for any reps that are watching, but something that I haven't really heard anybody educate on is the TouchPlex scent technology. Have you guys heard anybody really teach about that? Maybe some districts have. But I really haven't heard anybody talk about it at all, so I thought I would just mention it here. It's in the Skin So Soft Aroma and Therapy Calming products, and then the Aroma and Therapy Energizing products. It's not in the gel body oil, and it's not part of the body gel cream, but basically it's, you know, you can reactivate the scent through the day just by kind of rubbing your skin. So it's sort of that microbead technology, the same that's in the True Color technology with the lipsticks, where you know, you've got the microbeads of product, and that, you know, you can rub it and kind of reactivate the scent, the same as you can press your lips together and reactivate the color. And so I just wanted to mention that because I really haven't heard anybody educate us on that. So some, like I said, some districts may have, but nobody has ever talked to me about that. And so I thought it'd be a good thing to just kind of educate yourself on if you haven't already. So it's going to be on pages 164 and 65, the TouchPlex scent technology. Touchplex, Touchplex. So just want to point that out. Okay. And then one thing I just wanted to bring this up because I think it's interesting, and I just think as the Mavens, it's kind of something that we could bat around or maybe we could give feedback on. But I think it's really interesting that the Banishing Cream and the Nurtura and the Dramatic Firming Cream keep getting listed in the body spa section of the catalog. When they're all, I mean, these are all face products. And I don't know. I think that's confusing to customers, or could be confusing to customers, and I think that it's confusing to new reps. You know, I mean, if you don't know that this is for the face, you know, you might think this. I mean, it does say the size, but there's nothing that really educates the customer saying, hey, these are face creams. This is a dramatic firming cream for your, you know, your face and neck and, you know, décolleté. And there's nothing that says really that this, I mean, the Banishing Cream Skin Discoloration Improver, well, you might be able to put 2 and 2 together and say skin discoloration. Well, maybe that's supposed to be for acne scars or age spots, but I don't know. If you guys have any opinions on that, I think it's interesting that they keep featuring it, you know, because we did complain and say, hey, how do you expect new customers or new reps to sell these when we never feature them? So they're featuring them together at discounted prices, but they're putting them in the body section instead of putting them up with all the other face care. So I don't know. I was just curious what other people kind of thought about that, or if anybody else thought that was confusing. Maybe it's something we should give some feedback on. Or something to just be aware of, that if you have a brand new customer and you're just giving them the catalog and relying on them to flip through it, that they may not realize that this is a skincare option for the face. So just a little FYI, I guess, on that. Okay, 176 and 177. More While Supplies Last products. The eyeshadow duets, the Avon mini eyeliners, and the, let's see, what's the other one? Oh, the mini plump pout lip glosses. I mean, these are ones that we talked about last time. And I think the eyeshadow duets, I think those have been in the Outlook catalog a few times, haven't they? I can't remember for sure, but that shouldn't really be a surprise for anybody. Okay, 179, another free gift with purchase. Buy the travel brush, get mini frizz control shampoo and conditioner free. So if they buy this brush, they get the little shampoo and conditioners. And on page 181, While Supplies Last, the seasonal lip balms. It's just the lip balms. They don't have it listed for the hand creams. It's just for the spring lip balms. They have listed While Supplies Last. Which I kind of thought that was interesting that they did one, that it's one and not the other. So I don't know, but just the lip balms. Okay, pages 183 and 185, and then 186 and 187. There are limited edition fragrances. So with the Naturals line, we have limited edition Juicy Peach Blossom, and then limited edition Lush Gardenia Blossom. And then in the Bubble Baths, the Lily and Honeysuckle Blossom and the Magnolia Pear Blossom. So limited edition scents for the spring. And then on the back cover, there is a lowest price ever with the perfume skin softeners at $1.50 each. Okay, so if anybody has any questions about those, then go ahead and comment. Oh, and if you're curious what I think kind of my buy for the catalog is, and what I would, what I think has potential to sell out quickly based on, the past, is possibly the Avon Sprinkles nail decorations. These, that are kind of like the caviar sprinkles. That's on page 31. It's going to intro at $3.99. So I just feel like that's something that has potential to sell out really fast or unexpectedly. Maybe not. I can't predict the future, but I also think it's kind of one of the most fun, interesting products in the catalog. So I just thought I would mention it. Okay, then with Mark, Skylar Diggins. She's a basketball player. She's kind of the featured celebrity. So if you're not familiar with her, I would start to get familiar with her so that you can help your customers get familiar. Of course, they always give information about them, but a professional athlete with some women may not be as recognizable as a TV celebrity. So, they might be kind of like, oh, who is that girl? And it's better if you know than not know. Okay. Here's where I'm kind of like, what's happening with Mark. Basically, I don't know that there were any that weren't, but pretty much if it is not clothing and jewelry in the catalog, it's listed at limited quantities. So I'll just break it down. I'll just tell you straight out. Page 8, the Scandal Lash is limited quantities. The No Place to Run eyeliners are not. It's one of the few things that isn't. Pages 10. Let's see. The Make It Rich lip color crayons are limited quantities, and the Glossworks are limited quantities. The long-wearing lip gloss. The Gloss Gorgeous, the Lip Click, and the All Butter Now are not, but these two are. Okay, on page 13, the Glow It All Gradual Glow Body Moisturizer and the It's a Glow Gradual Glow Face Moisturizer are limited quantities. The That's Brilliant, the Touch and Glow, and the Glowdacious are not, but these are. Everything on page 14 is limited quantities. It's the Lash All You Want mascara, the What a Line felt tip eyeliner, the Please Hold eye primer, which that one is a little surprising to me since we don't have the Avon primer, and the Make Me Lash eyelash curler. All limited quantities. The On the Dot compacts, those are not. Okay. Basically, if it's a new product, it's not. Like the Juice Gems, those aren't. But the things that we know and love, pretty much all are. Okay. Page, let's see, 27. There are sale prices for the perfumes, and they're all listed at limited quantities. The Marc Jewel Shine, the Regular Jewel, the Night Iris, and the Very Sassy. They're all on sale, but they're all also limited quantities available. Everything on page 28 and 29 are limited quantities. This one was kind of surprising to me. The Whipped Up Body Butter, the Handed Over Hand Cream, The 3's a Charm 3-in-1 cleanser, the Just Buffing Body Exfoliator, the Get Misty Body Mist, and the Sheen Stealer Dry Oil Body Spray are all limited quantities. That one's kind of surprising to me because that, you know, I sell a lot of the, especially the lemon sugar. I sell a ton of that stuff. Everything on pages 30 and 31, and these are all the classics. The Scandalash, like all of the hookups. The Scandalash, the Metal Liner, the Glow Baby Glow, the Pro Gloss, the Get in Line, the Glow Baby Glow Luxe, and the Just Tweezing are all limited quantities. And then the Just Blushing Powder Blush, the iMark Metallics Custom Pick Eyeshadows, the iMark Wet and Dry Eyeshadows, the Snap To It Custom Color Palettes. All of that is limited quantities. But they are having a get the mid-size Snap To It free if you buy the 2 iMark shades and a 1 blushing shade. So if you fill it up, you get it free. I'm kind of surprised though, like all the eyeshadows and blushes are listed as limited quantities. And then we talked about the hair care last time because there was an advance order opportunity for the hair care stuff. Well, all of the minis that are available in the hair care stuff, those are all limited quantities. So the mini Curl Commander, the mini Curl to Curl, the mini Give It To Me Straight, and the mini Locks in Place, those are, the minis are on limited quantity for those. And then on page 34, everything on the page is limited quantities. The Got the Goods, Primed for Perfection, Super Conceal, Great Finish, Mineral, Powder Buff, and Set Things Right. All limited quantities. And then on page 36, basically all of the Mark brushes except for the Go With The Pro set, like the kit, and the angled Kabuki face brush. Basically everything else is limited quantities. So the concealer brush, the angled contour eyeshadow brush, the foundation brush, the angled contour face brush, the powder brush, the blondes and bronzer brush, the all-over eyeshadow brush, the eyeshadow brush, the flat eyeliner brush are all limited quantities. So basically these 2 are not, and everything else is. Okay, so has anybody heard anything else about Mark? I mean, the new products, like the brand new, you know, like they just redid the Juice Gems, right? They just redid the packaging for that, so those aren't limited quantities. We know the On the Dot is a pretty good seller, so that's not listed as limited quantities, or at least they say it's a pretty good seller. I actually don't sell a lot of those, but I know some people do. The Touch and Glow, I don't know. There's a few things in there that aren't, but pretty much everything, if it's not clothing or jewelry, pretty much everything is limited quantities. So if anybody hears anything about Mark, keep us posted. And do you guys want kind of insider scoop on the what's new, or do you want to be surprised? I will let you decide. I'm going to refresh. You guys' comments have all been frozen for me, so I have missed pretty much everything. So I apologize if I missed any questions. Let me go back through really quick and see if I missed anything. Like any questions. Sorry about that. I can't believe I missed Mindy's Rocky the Squirrel Arms comment. Hey, Erin. I don't know anybody who's actually had any of the new brushes yet. I could have ordered some last campaign, but I didn't because I'm hoping that we get them in our last Maven bundle. So I don't really know. I haven't heard any feedback on the brushes yet. Yeah, the lipsticks, where you guys were talking about the Ultra Color lipsticks. I think the other colors are probably still available. I think they're maybe just trying to push, maybe they have overstock on specific shades or something. I don't really know for sure about that. But it is just specifically on the colors shown. I kind of looked through to see if there were any real specific colors marked, but I'm assuming it's just all of the Ultra Color lipsticks that were on that page. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Sorry, all of your comments were frozen. So, all right, so they want the scoop. Okay, I'll give you the scoop. You can watch it over, Erin. I am going to leave it up. So, if you need to come back and watch it again or 100 times again, it'll be up there, so you can. Okay, so we do want the scoop on the what's new. So I'm going to give you just a few little insider scoops. I have 2 words for you guys. A little teaser here. The 2 words are high-low. We'll see if you can guess. We'll see if you can guess. If you want me to give you sneak peeks, but I'll see if you can guess what's coming from my little high-low teaser. There is a rep offer in the what's new. Let's see. And it's you know, it's basically the perfume rep offer. That they do this pretty much every year right around this time. It's all 5 of her favorite scents for only $30, $115 value. So it's basically the scent pack. I think they do this pretty much once a year at this time of year. So special representative offer, save over 60%. Your costs $30 for the pack of 5. You earn $63 when you sell each item at its brochure 10 price. So this only really works you know, the problem that reps get into is they buy these advance order packs and they get all of this, and then they don't sell it in the campaign where the price kind of matches up. And then all of a sudden there's a sale price later on, and they end up losing money because they pay, you know, a sale price at some point ends up being more. Oh, yeah, Hazel knows because she's a trendsetter too. I'm actually kind of excited about it too, even though some people, there's debate about whether it's you know, a thing of the past or not. I happen to still really like it, so hopefully we can get another season or two out of it. But anyway, so you want to really make sure, like, you know, the idea with this pack is that you want to sell these in campaign 10. They're basing these discounts on whatever price they have it at campaign 10 in the campaign 10 brochure. So you really can only guarantee that you're going to make your $68 or $63 if you sell it in campaign 10. So just kind of have that in mind. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to, like, the Amari Seduction, for example, in the brochure it's $23 or 2 for $24. Okay, so like if they buy the one from you for the $23, you're going to make your money back. But if they go for the 2 for $24 deal, you know, you're going to be stuck with your one, that kind of thing. So you just need to kind of be careful with these. They basically have them all listed at $23. The Amari Seduction and the Rare Gold, they have the 2 for $24 option. So, and then you also get the Amari Liquid Touch samples. You get a pack of 10 for free. It's $1 with each her favorite scent pack purchase. So you get $1 worth of samples for every pack you buy. Stock up now, no limit. Order unlimited packs in campaign 8 or campaign 9. You will be billed in the campaign in which you order. The $30 pack price counts toward award sales and earnings level and will be used to calculate leadership bonus earnings if purchased by a member of your downline and order is paid in full. So they have to pay for it on time. All units count toward your credit limit. You may be required to pay an additional deposit based on your account's balance and credit limit. So there's that. Building suspense. Dun, dun, dun. High, low, high, low, high, low. Okay, let's see. There is also an advance order pack. Page 26. Oh, yeah, I have 2 words for you. Saint Bart's. That's basically going to be the mark theme for the, you know, upcoming campaign. So there's going to be an advance order pack on the St. Bart's Soleil, easy for you to say, instant vacation advance order pack. You get all this. Save more than 58% off the Magalog prices with an asterisk. So there's going to be a shimmering body lotion, an Ode to Toilette spray, an eye color palette, which, you know, is kind of similar to the 8-in-1, sort of that kind of a layout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's like an 8-in-1 palette. A face compact, which has it's like a multicolor face compact, one of those swirl the colors together kind of deals. And then the That's Beachy texturizing surf spray. So your cost $35, an $84 value, no limit, delayed billing. Order unlimited sets in campaign 8 or 9. You will be billed in campaign 10. Pay with your campaign 11 order. The $35 pack price counts toward award sales and earnings level will be used to calculate leadership bonus earnings. If purchased by a member of your downline and order is paid in full. All units count toward your credit limit. You may be required to pay an additional deposit based on your account balance and credit limit. So you can order them in campaign 8 or 9. You're going to be billed in campaign 10. You pay with your campaign 11 order. $35 counts toward award sales. So there's that. There's going to be an offer for sunglasses where they can get them for, this is Mark II. They get them for $5 with a $20 purchase. So we can get them for either $3.50 or $3.75 depending on your earnings level with a $20 Magalog purchase, or you can get them for $12.60 or $13.50 if you demo them separately. Just a little FYI. Let's see. Oh, and then page 38, they do talk about the skincare again. They have a breakdown. They are talking about the reversalist going away. A new reversalist last time in brochure in campaign 8 brochure. If she loves reversalist renewal serum, this is her last chance to order. Suggests the new clinical Pro Line eraser treatment as a replacement. So if she likes the serum, you're going to want to replace the serum with the clinical Pro Line eraser treatment. Okay, and then the campaign 10 brochure, the reversalist cleanser and day, night, and eye creams will be last time in the campaign 10 brochure. So the serum leaves in campaign 8. Everything else is appearing for the last time in campaign 10. The cleanser, the day cream, the night cream, and the eye cream. Last time, campaign 10. And then it says new, coming in campaign 13, the new reversalist complete renewal with Tri-Elastinex technology. Tri-Elastinex technology. Virtually erases the look of lines and wrinkles. Coming in campaign 13. So make sure the serum is leaving in campaign 8, so you want to get her kind of introduced to the Pro Line eraser treatment as her replacement, and make sure she stocks up if she's really in love with the reversalist, because campaign, first of all, we know it's limited supply and they could sell out at any time, but if they don't sell out at any time, it's going to be in the brochure the last time, campaign 10, for all the rest. So make sure she stocks up, because these don't launch until campaign 13. So that's like, you know, it's a month and a half before the new stuff comes in between campaign 10 and 13. And that's only if supplies last until that time. Right? Because they've been saying since campaign 7 that it was going. So, you know, people are probably going to stock up and that sort of thing. So, oh, the glasses. I'll show you. They are, see if I can show you without ruining any other spoilers. I don't know. Here's the glasses. They're just like, you know, plastic lens, kind of that, you know, modernized cat eye, where they're not a real cat eye, but they're I don't know how else to call it than a modern cat eye. Yeah, 5 for $30 is $6 per bottle. This is talking about the perfume advanced order pack, or not advanced order, the rep offer, where Mindy's saying 5 for $30 is $6 a bottle. So if you sell them at about $13, you know, you'll make decent money. Bye, Mindy. Yeah, she's moving locations. I can't wait to see, though, where she ends up. It's going to be awesome, I think. Okay, so you guys, Uh, I saw a guess on the high-low. You guys want to see my high-low teaser? Dun dun dun. Let me do a refresh, make sure I'm not missing a million things like I was before. Oh, I'm actually caught up. Oh, I only had one message that time that was missed. Okay, I'll show you. Give you a little high-low action. If I can find it. Here we go. Here's one. High-low hem dress. Woohoo! I actually really like these, as long as sometimes they can be a little bit too long for me. But I really love high-low hemlines, and I like that they're really actually doing it this time. You know, they had that little yellow dress last year with the little kind of peasant top, and they kind of hinted at the high-low hemline, but they're doing it for real in these, so I'm actually kind of excited. You know, there's debates about if the high-low hemline was, you know, so last year, but I think it probably has another year or two in it. So there's that one. And then for the Mark catalog, there is, where is it? There's a high-low maxi dress for the Mark catalog. Belt is separate. You guys want prices on those? The green one, $30.80 for PRP, $33 for everyone else. It's going to be $44 in the Magalog. Minnie's looking for a training center. That would be good. Sales in the front, training in the back. That kind of a deal. That's what I would like to have. If they would give us LABCs again. The other one, the purpley, or I guess it's not purple, I guess it's blue and pink and animal print one, that one is going to be PRP $17.49. Everyone else $18.74. It's going to be in the brochure for $24.99. And the skirt is fully lined on that one, so that's kind of good to know. Okay, so did anybody miss anything? Yeah, the sandals are cute too. I like the ones they have with the green one. Aaron's not a big fan of the high-low. The maxi dress is not lined. It doesn't say that it's lined. Also, I'll show you guys this too because I kind of dig this. Sleeve style doesn't work for her. For the maxi, yeah, some of us need. I mean, I can wear I could wear a strapless bra, although it does look like it might go down kind of low on the sides. But I mean, some of us need some straps. You know what I'm saying? But some of those skinny girls, this one would be really good for you, Hazel, though. I think. Girl would be banging in that one. I'm going to show you guys this, too, that's going to be in the Mark catalog, because I happen to love it. And this is a little bit fashion-forward, probably not for everybody, but I'm a fashion-forward kind of girl. And it's actually, they didn't, I don't know how it's going to be presented in the Mark Magalog itself, but they really don't give a good picture of it to us as reps in the what's new. It's called the Keep It Together bracelet ring. It's going to demo for $14.40, and it's going to be $24 in the Magalog. So basically what it is, it's a bracelet and a ring, and they're attached with chains. You know, I mean, there's been other versions of this before, but this is a chunky bracelet. It's not like the little chain bracelets that you might be familiar with. This is a chunky bracelet attached by chains to a ring. And it says that there's glass rhinestones, I'm assuming, in the ring. You can't really tell at all. This is the only picture that I found of it. It's here. I personally think that's pretty darn cool. that's my taste. My kind of edgy, a little edgier taste. Not edgy like goth edgy, but edgy like, it's a little bit rock star kind of, you know. Little fancy girl, a little night out on the town with the girls, edgy. New bags or totes. There's not any 4A stuff in this one, or at least I didn't that I noticed. There is, I see, great minds think alike, Hazel, right? I love that. Bags or totes. There is a chic trapezoid handbag. It looks like it has it's different on depending on which side is facing out. It sort of reminds me like an eyelet pattern in the middle here, but it's not on the other side. So there's that one. It's going to be $29.99. Demo for $20.99 or $22.49 depending on your earnings. There's also a cute little like a crochet crossbody bag here. It's like a polyester and lace crochet with a drawstring. That's going to be $14.99. So you can demo it for 10 and change or 11 and change. You know, there's a pair of flip-flops that if anybody got the green and blue maxi dress from last year, there's going to be a dress that matches it. But if they got the green maxi dress from last year that had the blue in it, might be a match for it. I can't really tell for sure, but the color looks similar. It might be a little bit lighter. Not positive, but it might be something that you could go back to somebody who bought that dress last year and say, hey, there's a new green dress and there's, you know, some flip-flops that'll go with both if you want something to go with it. There is a leopard print luggage set. I mean, we're all going to need this because you know they're going to bring us all back to New York one of these days. I might be dreaming, but hey, I just like to put it out there that we all want to come back to New York and have a reunion. It's not asking too much, is it? I don't think so. And let's see. Oh, here's a tote bag for Mark. Oh, well, the tote bag that went with the ring. Yeah, the Get Packing tote. It's going to be $40. You can demo it for $28 or $30. It's big like a beach bag style almost. Tote. Joe likes the ring too. The girls are on it with the ring. Yeah. That's totally my style. Even though I'm like old and middle-aged and just kidding. Totally my style. Yeah, that's it for bags. I don't see any others. Were there any questions or comments that I missed, like from way back in the beginning when all my stuff were those new wedges on the trapezoid bag page? I think probably. New York, New York. I know. I'm just putting it out there into the atmosphere. Yeah. Chic cutout wedge. Has the same kind of eyelet sort of pattern in the shoes. A lot of shoes in this campaign. A lot of jewelry, really, too. This one is like all clothing, not much makeup kind of deal. Campaign 10 will be. The wedges are going to be $29.99. You can demo them for $20.99 or $22.49. If I missed any questions or comments that you guys were throwing out earlier because my comment section was frozen, it looked like I was just talking to myself, put them back in again, and I'll rehash anything that I should have answered before. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. There's some really cute new pictures of Lucy Hale. Cute little sailboat necklace. I don't want to ruin it all for you guys, though. I want you to have some surprises. Some new hair care stuff coming out. Just saying. Some new nail prints. They're kind of rehashing like the face care lines, the new lines. There's a big focus on those in here. So there's some demo offers for the skincare lines. So that would be kind of a good opportunity if you want like a full-size one that you could do, you know, handfuls or whatever from. There'll be opportunities to buy like the Platinum and the Ultimate and do that with it. There's also a new foundation coming out that falls under the new line, which is kind of nice because we haven't had, I mean, those were pretty popular and they were, you know, they focused on skincare for older skin and they all went away. So there's a new one coming back. It's very reminiscent of the Olay, the swirled foundations that Ellen, you know, advertises, where there's the foundation swirled with the moisturizer. They're going to swirl it with the new skincare serum. So, and it's the good thing about it is it falls in line with a lot of the other foundation prices, where when they had it before, it was more expensive because it was a new. This one, it's going to be in the brochure for $13.50. So that's actually kind of nice because it's still in the affordable drugstore pricey range versus being, you know, a little more high end, which I think was part of the problem when they had it in the past. You know, it was just a little bit pricier than the other ones, and so I think people, when they were in a pinch financially, went for the more affordable option. Refresh, make sure I'm not missing any questions or requests. Nope, caught up. I'm glad everybody was here. I thought I was talking to myself for a little while. I knew Joe was there. I knew Hazel was trying to come in. I'm glad everybody was there. Does anybody have any questions going back to the foundation stuff, or anything that I could explain a little better about how to approach, you know, different skin tones a little differently so that you're just using color theory or the premise that you know, at one end you need to focus on recesses and at the other end you focus on highlight, any of that kind of thing. Even though I can't draw a tree, I can draw imaginary trees. We got that covered. Is anybody going to change the way they apply foundation or maybe some other makeup items? You know, if something to think about, if you have a very dark foundation based on the premise that, you know, the idea that white is the reflection or rejection of all color and black is the absorption or inclusion of all colors, if you have a really dark foundation, sometimes you might find, like if you're trying to put you know, a light blush on a dark foundation or something, if your products are mixing, you're not getting the color payoff. If you're unintentionally lightening the foundation in that area and you're losing the pigmentation of the blush, some of that kind of thing. You know, there might be some things as you sort of sort that through in your mind that you'll go, gosh, now I understand what was happening when I was trying to put that blush on and I couldn't get any color from it. Well, it was being absorbed by the foundation as the two products were kind of mixing together on the face. It was being soaked up by the darker foundation and you were losing color. Or you have somebody and you put makeup on them and then you're starting to add layers and they're starting to look, you know, kind of ashy or kind of gray or kind of ghostly or whatever. Well, you're probably approaching the makeup from the wrong this way instead of this way, or vice versa. You know, maybe from this side they're getting kind of muddy. Really, as you kind of start to think about that and really start to think it through and really go back in your mind to all those things that they taught you in elementary school, you know, in your earliest art classes, and about how colors, you know, how you mix two colors together to make a third color, or, you know, the whole secondary and tertiary color ideas, and really start to think about that, you know, in application towards makeup. And I think you'll change the way you do some things, and I think some things will make more sense to you, and I don't know, it can really kind of be enlightening in a lot of ways. And if you were mad because you couldn't find your foundation because you're pale as a ghost and nobody makes white and you always have that yellow line, like happens, or if you're at the other end of the spectrum and you can't, you know, get an exact match, you might go, oh, now I get it. I should focus less on the exact match and focus more on, you know, highlighting and lightening areas. When you think about, you know, scarring, especially with acne scarring, remember that that's an area that you want to lighten anyway. So let's say if you have dark skin, for example, you know, you're going to want to lighten these areas with foundation, right? Because you're going to use your natural skin tone as you know, the defining point here in the crease. And so, you know, if your acne falls in these areas, you're going to be naturally lightening it anyway with the makeup application. You don't necessarily need an exact match to your skin tone trying to bury it. And the same with light skin. You know, I feel like acne is actually harder to cover up on light skin than it is on dark skin in a lot of cases. So I wish I were better at explaining that, but you girls know what I mean with all of it, don't you? You guys are smart cookies. You know how color theory works. Okay, any requests for next time? Or questions? Or I think maybe next time, maybe we'll do a challenge at the end. I don't know what it'll be, but I got 2 weeks to come up with one. Maybe we could do a challenge based on what's coming up in the catalog so you can get a little practice ahead of time or something. Might not be product specific because we won't have access to the products, but might be related to a look that's going to be in the catalog or something along those lines. You guys be interested in that? We can end next time with a challenge. All right, well, if nobody has any questions, and if there isn't anything else you want to see, or anything else you want more detail on, then I will end it for this time. And, you know, of course, if you think of something, just ask me on the Facebook page. Send your downlines to come back and watch this because I think it's helpful for them too. And they're more than welcome to come during the live show. So, you know, don't make them, they don't have to watch the replay. You know, invite them to watch the real time. You know, it'd be fun if you guys have weekly or bi-weekly meetings. You know, you might want to do like have a little party where you all hang out, make it part of your meeting, and they could be part of the live broadcast too. Would be fun. So, just an idea. I'd like to, you know, kind of grow this so we can help educate everybody. I mean, kind of get information out there that I feel like is getting missed, and just help everybody prepare ahead of time. You know, really prepare ahead of time. I wish somebody would do it like for me and Hazel. Hazel probably feels the same way. I wish somebody would give us this information a month in advance too, but no such luck. All right, well, I will see you guys in 2 weeks then. Same time, 2 weeks. Somebody know what the date is 2 weeks from now? I'm not sure. I don't have my calendar with me. But 2 weeks, same time, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. And I'll catch you guys back on Facebook. Bye! Thumbs up on the challenge. All right.